Hey everyone, I'm Frank. I'm glad to see you back at my channel watching yet another video. Today I wanted to just make a quick video about how INFJs fade into the background in social situations, almost like you're Marty McFly in Back to the Future, playing guitar and looking at your hand, and it's just disappearing right in front of you until your dad you've probably been there where you're in a, let's say, a group, maybe not your best friend group, but then again, we don't have a lot of best friends, do we? So you're in a group of acquaintances, friends, and all of a sudden you realize I'm not really a part of this conversation. I'm just an observer. I'm like on the outside of it too. Like, this person next to me literally has his back toward me, and people aren't like turning and saying, "Hey man, what do you think?" Life is happening and you're just being ignored, you know? But I want to tell you that I want to kind of go into what I see the reasons for it, why this happens, and to tell you shouldn't feel so bad about it. It's nothing personal. These people don't hate you. They don't think that you're like lesser than. It's just the way our personality works, the dynamics of it, and something you might be surprised about too. So first of all, this is just a basic introvert thing, but we can do it pretty well, maybe better than anyone else, is the taking in of energy rather than the giving out of energy. So in any situation, you can be giving out energy or you can kind of just be absorbing it. And what we do best is absorb it. And when you're doing this, you're not really on anyone's radar because you're not giving out anything to be picked up. And that's just what we're good at. That's like our default as an INFJ is to be taking in rather than giving out. Now we can give out. You've done it, I'm sure. That's why we're called the social chameleon, because there can be times where if someone walked in and never met you before, they'd say, "Oh, that person there is an extrovert," and they're talking about you, because depending on what situation you're in, you can be all over the place. INFJs are actually the most extroverted of the introverts, but that doesn't mean that we always look like an extrovert, and actually I think our default is to just be taking in energy. And in the dynamics of a group, that means people aren't going to really be engaging with you until you give out some energy, unless you have someone else who's very aware, who is trying to get energy out of you. But for the most part, most people, it doesn't cross their mind. Secondly, this might be me going out on a limb here. It might be, but I'm going to put it out there anyway for you to ridicule and tell me I'm an idiot. I think that we listen so well and we take in so well. We absorb other people's emotions, and INFJs are so intuitive that we can, read a situation. I mean, that's our dominant function, inverted intuition. We can take in all the information about a situation and kind of just feel out what's going to happen. People may not consciously put this together, but they can be a little bit intimidated by it or put off by how present you are, how much you're taking in. And even if they might not be thinking, "Oh man, this guy's taking in every detail," they'll kind of subconsciously perhaps realize that you're not just being quiet, but you are actively taking in everything and processing it. And for some people, they don't understand that, and it's a little intimidating because it's a mystery. They see you're taking in all this stuff and they have no idea what's going on in your head. I don't know if you've ever been called unreadable, but many people have called me unreadable. I do think that we tend to be kind of mysterious, and people don't know what to make of us. And so they don't want to engage with us because they're really not sure what's going on up here. And it's not anything against you. It's just they would rather have you make the first move and put yourself out there and give them a little bit of a heads up what's going on up there before they start to engage, because they have no idea. I hope that I can shed some light on it. That's my theory on it. And it has nothing to do with other people judging you or thinking you suck. It's just, it has to do with how they're reading the situation. And so my suggestion is, if you find you're in one of those situations where you're kind of fading away, just put out a little something so that people realize they can make sense of what's going on in your head. And you'll be surprised because they also, along with that being kind of intimidated by you taking in stuff, I think there's an inherent respect that we can get, and it comes from not speaking much. People really respect that. In my experience, as I've gotten older, I talk way less in social situations. Not like I was ever a chatterbox, but I just rarely talk. I would rather listen, and when I speak, I want it to mean something, and I don't want to just talk to hear the sound of my own voice. Or even if I think I have an opinion to express, I will think before I speak, and I'm like, does it matter if I express my opinion here? And usually it's no. It's like, what do I accomplish by expressing myself? Now you might think that's like a negative thing where I'm like, oh, me, what? I don't have anything to say, no one cares. But it's more like actually just recognizing that sometimes I don't have things to offer, even if my ego thinks I do. And to just talk for the sake of talking, to express an opinion, there's no reason for it. I tend to only speak when I think it's really necessary for helping someone else understand something, or to add something that I know is of value, where I'm like, oh, these people don't see this thing that I can clearly see. Let me share that with them, rather than just saying, oh, you think this, well, I think this. Well, I think you're wrong. I don't like that. Why bother? And that's what most conversations are. If you really look at a conversation, it's people saying what they like, don't like, usually what they don't like, and then stuff that's happened to them where they're the star of their, stories, but they're usually mundane and don't have a point. You can tell how much I like being around other people, can't you? All that to say, don't take it personally. You're not really fading away. They're probably more aware of you than you realize, and they just don't know how to deal with you, because you're that cool. That about wraps it up for this show. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Give me a like if you liked it. Give me a subscribe if you subscribed it. And give me a pat on the back. Send me a check in the mail. Get a plane and write. Anyway, peace. I'm never going to end a video that way again.